Earth 2, number 13, written by James Robinson, art by Yildiray Sonar. So, last issue, there was a lot going on last issue. It was a whole thing of introducing Batman, and the Atom had like a thing. This issue picks up on the storyline established there, though, where they want to send Captain Steel into a fire pit outside of Rio de Janeiro. And we open up with Captain Steel arriving, and he's like, "Yes, I'm here. What can I do?" And then we see, what's his name? Singh, I believe? Khan? I don't know. The main general dude. Commander Khan, that's it. It has to explain to his superiors and the readers what the hell is a Captain Steel. So he goes out and he's like, okay, here's the thing. We know we're going to war with Steppenwolf. He's here on Earth and he's made himself a ruler of a country. That's going to happen in like 48 hours. So what we want to do is take the first 24 hours and we're going to send Captain Steel into this fire pit. And the fire pits were made by Terry Sloan during the war because he's a dick. And all of them are deadly and you have to live really far away from them, except for the one next to Rio. And so they figure, hey, we don't know much about these fire pits. Let's send in somebody to do some recon with the only safe one. So they are sending in Captain Steel inside of this weapon that was apparently built during the war. It was called the Red Files, where they had a bunch of them. One of them called Red Tornado, one of them called Red Arrow. This ship is called the Red Torpedo, and he's going to take it in there and drive it down. And then we get the backstory of Captain Steel, who he is as a person. He was an orphan. He was adopted by a father. He had a disease that would have made his bones crumble into nothing by the time he hit adulthood. And so his adoptive father did a bunch of tests on him and basically turned his bones and organs to steel, which gave him enhanced strength. And also he can control machinery to some extent. So that's the reason that he's the one going in, is that even if the fire pit has something that disables Red Torpedo as a ship, he can still keep it moving and get out of there. So the superiors are like, all right, yep, sounds good. Send him in and make sure he's out by the time we have to fight with Steppenwolf. And so Captain Steel's talking to this guy who like made the Red Torpedo. And he's like, yeah, here's the thing, guy. You're coming up to me all fanboy or whatever. I don't care. And he's not doing it as like a dick sort of thing. He's just like, I do this because it's my job. Like, it's not that I don't appreciate the like fan thing, but like, I'm not doing this out of excitement. I'm doing it because nothing else matters to me. And he just gets in the ship and goes down. So then we get the B plot, which is Hawkgirl, and she is fighting against some, as best I can describe them, hitmen, maybe, that are riding enlarged versions of the rats that come from Apocalypse, and they've been genetically modified to be rideable. And she's fighting up against them because she's trying to investigate what happened to Green Lantern's boyfriend that caused him to die. Because if you remember, like 3 issues ago, they established that it wasn't them coming after Alan Scott, it was them coming after the boyfriend. So she's fighting against them. She loses track of one of them that sneaks up on her, and then we see a Batarang bomb is thrown into his neck, which causes him to explode. And Hawkgirl's like, who the hell is that? She looks over, she sees Batman in a tree, and Batman's like, keep going. The Kanto from Apocalypse, he's the one behind all this. And then Batman just disappears into like a red mist. And so Hawkgirl's like, okay, so I think I just saw the ghost of Batman. That was weird. Regardless, what in the world is Apocalypse got to do with Alan's boyfriend? So that's the mystery coming up. Meanwhile, 35 hours later, Commander Khan finally hears back from Captain Steel. And he's screaming out, just like, there's something emerging. There's something going on. And turns out that Captain Steel has literally crawled his way out of this pit. The Red Torpedo's just failed. He's crawling his way out and he's saying, seal it off. Get it closed. There's someone inside, and she is unstoppable. And we see Captain Steel as he gets out of the pit. His flesh has mostly like melted off. Is missing an entire arm, it appears. And he says, the Red Lantern We have to save the world from her, protect the Earth, because if she ever gets out, our planet dies. So we got a Red Lantern. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm interested. It sounds interesting, but it's so weird the fact that this is a parallel Earth because all of these familiar things, you hear the Flash, you hear Green Lantern, you even think Batman, they aren't the same. And they aren't the same in major substantial ways, even down to how their powers work. There's some similarity there, but it's not the same. So when Captain Steel comes out and says Red Lantern, first off, they already established in this issue that there is a red files with like red torpedo and red arrow. So it sounds like it could be something to do with that. But then it's also in an apocalypse fire pit. So who knows? It could be anything. I'm intrigued though. I'm interested. It's a good mystery is this one. The last arc was very much just like action all the time. Well, that was the Dr. Fate one. I'm talking about the first arc was very action immediately. Not a lot of mystery to it. Dr. Fate one was just getting more characters. This one is getting down into, okay, we've got the characters out. Now we're playing with the conflict. We've got all, Mr. Miracle, Barda, Steppenwolf, they've all got their allegiances, and then we've got our own little Justice Society here. I'm interested to see how these conflicts play out with this new mystery coming into play. So I'm going to give this one... I unfortunately still need to give it like a 6.5, but that's only because all of this with exposition. Only the very last page is really anything worth writing home about in the big reveal. Everything else was just text box of like, well, as you know, Captain Steel is blah, blah, blah. Too much, should have been more naturalistic, as best they really could have. So I got to give this one a 6.5.